The focus of racing attention at Rose Hill, as it was last week and will be for the next fortnight. Keith Hillier, how are you going, Keith?
I'm going well, thanks, Bruce. Yes, that's true, but we should make mention of back home here at Sandown, where Jim Houlihan probably became the first octogenarian to land a city treble. Good on you, Jim. He's a marvel.
Speaking of Octa was pretty good yesterday at Rose Hill too, wasn't it?
Octagonal. Oh, was he ever?
He's a good horse. John Hawkes, the trainer of Octagonal, also the trainer of Strategic, the two favourites for the Golden Slippers, our special guest with Max Presnell today. Max, what did you think of the racing yesterday?
I thought the racing at Rose Hill was excellent. I thought the Todman Slipper trial was particularly excellent because of the 6-to-1 bet about Octagonal. But certainly Octagonal is a strong slipper chance, but I can't see him beating his stablemate Strategic.
Well, the next question, obviously, John, as we welcome you, you said yesterday not much between them after the race, maybe Strategic. Is that the way you're still feeling?
At this stage, Bruce, I think they're both very, very promising horses, but Strategic's always been, the genuine 2-year-old, whereas Octagonal I've always had in my mind, very promising horse, will always be a better 3-year-old.
John, to borrow a line from a commercial, I know you want more. You may have as many as 4 runners in the slipper.
Well, we're running Burrito at Kembla Grange on Tuesday, and if he wins that, he'll definitely run in the slipper, and that'll definitely make the 4. And
with Shaded.
With Shaded, and there's even the chance that Recalcitrance may still front up yet, so if we do that, it'll be 5.
Hawksy, after last week when Strategic won, a prominent member of your staff said, we have got one better at home. Now, is this one, is it Octagonal, or is it one that we haven't seen that will make a 3-year-old?
No, Octagonal was always the one that I said early in the year that always was the one home better, and we've still got some promising young ones, but they're not up to the calibre of this horse at this stage.
What a situation the owners are in, Jack and Bob Ingham, John. They've had slipper success 5 times in the 37 runnings, and they're involved in all of your hopes this year. Yes,
they are, and they've bred Strategic, which would perhaps be the pinnacle. We bought Octagonal in New Zealand. But I think they're very delighted, and since they started Crown Lodge, and everything's going the right way.
Now, the horses in your second set of colours, Street Cafe used to wear these. Second from the back. Max doesn't muster speed early, Octagonal, does he?
No, this is the risk with Octagonal. It's that early slipper scrimmage. Now, you can see him in the black colours and the white cap, just going back there, and Cooksley does a slick piece of navigation to get the horse mobile and in touch at that stage. Bit of luck there, bit of good horsemanship, but that's the point I've got against him in the slipper. Strategic can go out, fire right into the box seat. Octagonal's got to have that bit of luck, but by gee, he's got a hell of a lot of ability.
Running 4th there is Exclusive. Halo Max, did he stay in slipper contention or blow his chances yesterday?
No, he didn't do enough, but certainly our Mace-Gay is a good measuring stick. Off the course all the way, up on the pace, but for a few strides looked the winner. But then down the outside, Octagonal, at only his 2nd start. Now, there was so much against this horse yesterday. Most of the runners would have been giving him 5, or he would have been giving them 5 or 6 kilos, yet he was able to, first up after a spell, at only his 2nd start, beat a top-class field of 2-year-olds, the best field we've seen so far this season.
Gee, we just stopped that at about 40 metres from the line, but he did come over the top. What have you protested, John, had you been beaten? Our Mace-Gay seemed to run out.
He did, Grant said he did shift ground a little bit, as we beat him. Well, we didn't have to worry about that scenario, Bruce, but, well, you'll never know. We possibly may have, yes.
John, do you feel some pressure on you at this stage? I mean, if you talk success, and I'd be interested in your philosophy, is Group 1 what it's all about? Because you, along with David Hayes and Lee Friedman, would have the 3 strongest stables in Australia. Yet this season, you won the first Group 1 race of the season, the Manikato. Your total's 1, Hayes is 8, Friedman's 8, and Gay Waterhouse is 3.
Oh, I think Group 1 is always the pinnacle of racing, Bruce. I mean, I'm building up to that. I'm letting Lee and David and let them win a few, in the next early in the season. I'll come good later in the season and as the years go by.
John, I think it's probably common ground, especially after yesterday, that the Colts and Geldings are better than the fillies this season.
Oh, I definitely think so. I think the Colts have always been, had the wood on the fillies. That one of Bob Thompson's, perhaps, Millrich, I think she's perhaps the best filly, but I still think she's got to, go up a notch, to get up to Strategic.
What
about the second play? Let's say that Strategic is the #1 selection for the slipper. Do you feel that Octagonal has the maturity, the firepower to beat a filly like Millrich for the 2nd placing?
I think she has. As I said, I think, well, she's done everything right, but she tends to be a touch more of a speed filly, which I think in the slipper, which will go against her a touch, whereas my bloke will be back off the pace a little bit, and same as Strategic, and even Burrito. All my horses race off the pace, and I think that'll be an advantage when it comes to the slipper.
Well, Burrito's running at Kembla Grange, I think, on Tuesday, isn't he, John? We better go to Stony Bay beating June, because this was the other, well, major story out of yesterday. At Group 1 level, the Rand vet. Well, what did we make, Keith? Wayne Harris not riding, Dipman riding yesterday, and the same story for June. Looked to have his chance in the last furlong.
Once again, you cannot blame the jockey, and for the third successive start, June has been beaten in a photo finish at Group 1 level. This followed the Futurity and then the Australian Cup again. He looked to have it in the bag, but Stony Bay and Larry Cassidy and Gay Waterhouse, who supplied the fitness, really fought on like a bulldog, and they deserved their win over June.
Max, I keep feeling, and maybe John can comment, that it does prove that our weight for age horses at the moment, whilst they're good, they're certainly not great.
Go ahead, John. What's your opinion on that?
You know, I still think June's a very, very good horse. I think he'll be even better suited when the races become a little bit longer, Bruce. But in saying that, yes, I think there are, you know, an even lot of horses.
I don't think June is a backable proposition, because an even lot of horses, and he is going to go up short again, and he's just not winning. Mick Dittman commented after that race it was a very good run of Stony Bay, so Stony Bay is obviously going to be a power in the 3-year-old events.
Okay, well, he certainly added another dimension with Dame Wynn's defeat, and Blevick looked like he's back. Gee, Flitter was a run yesterday, wasn't she? Coming from what seemed to be a hopeless position in the Winfield Classic. She was second last when we picked them up. Northwood Plume looked a bit disappointing. Max, your thoughts on Northwood Plume?
Northwood Plume struck trouble. You could say a little bit disappointing, Bruce, but nevertheless, I think you've got to give Northwood Plume one more chance. Certainly she didn't live up to the rave reviews put on her by you-know-who. But
Keith Hillier.
I certainly think that
yesterday,
perhaps again, a trifle disappointing.
It's only a week ago you were making a case for June being unbeatable.
Well, she's got to be ridden like this. There she is along the fence. When Jim Cassidy's just got to get a freak run, really, to win a race like this. That's the sort of filly she is. She's run into a few dead ends in a time, but yesterday was a day.
Gee, Max, I thought for a moment you'd lost the irons and everything there. Fortunately, they got the earpiece back in. You just missed Keith Hillier raving about Northwood Plume, but Flitter getting up on the fence, going through to win. Now, guys, we're just about out of time, so we've got to run through this quickly. Is Strategic value at 2-1, Max?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think?
I think he'll win now too. One comment on tipping, Max. Following your tips has put me right back on my feet. I've had to sell the car.
Good on you, Keith. Yes. Well, we're still at the debtor's wing at Long Bay trying to get the money for Jeune and for Northwood Plume and all those other grouse short-priced horses you sent us into.
Good on you, Max. Hawksy, thanks for your time this morning. Good luck with the Golden Slipper.
Thanks very much, Bruce.
We've got to go, Keith. Keith, Max and John Hawkes. After this, Kate with the latest scores.